control as an agency of lifting that. And
yeah, we don't lift stairway.
we don't have any.
Oh, what a presupposition.
No, we don't.
What a presupposition. Yeah, you
finish.
don't lift stay away orders, but was it even valid? What do you mean lift a bogus stay away order that denied me services? You know, the percassapacity of this is just beyond me.
If I may finish, the crux of all of this is to get you over there, to get you some services, correct? We want
Jesus, that has been the crux for 12 years, and it's amazing the length and depth and breadth that I've had to go just to get the decent afforded humanity on that level.
I think we recognize that just by the fact that we're all sitting here collectively.
Do you also recognize that I've been denied in the past? And those are incidents of law-breaking activity. Do you realize that? And do you realize that by simply glossing over it is not a fix?
Well, but we want to provide solutions for you, as the sheriff indicated. So let's focus on the one right now, which is to get you into the clinic itself first, correct? Because you physically have to get to the clinic to get the service.
Well, no. She just stated that I could go in the building. It didn't mean I was going to receive the services, you know, and everything else. I mean, I was quite clear on her spin. You know, no, I want to go in, receive the services, videotape so that I can present my paperwork, establish a baseline of prior and consistent maltreatment and denial of services and rights and everything else, and go forward so that it won't be swept under the carpet. No. And then I want accountability so that it doesn't happen to somebody else, and so that they don't have to go through what I had to go through in years. My God, you don't think I got the signed confession because the city decided to do the right thing after it broke the law and lied in federal court? You don't think that this person sitting over here with the Department of Public Health is offering this after, you know, I didn't get denied once again, even, you know, my basic entrance into 101 Grove on 8/15. I mean...
Do you want answers or do you want to make speeches?
For the record, I'm not offering anything. I'm here as representative as ADA coordinator and to find out if you need some type of accommodation.
Yes, I need my programmatic access to my medical care.
I'm only here to report that you can enter 101 Grove and you can enter Tom Waddell. So other than that, please do not make false statements.
I'm sorry, I didn't think I had. I said that you had said that I could enter it. You didn't say I could receive the services. I was making a clarification of the statement, not a false statement. Please don't miscategorize my good intent.
So you have access, and I'm wondering, I don't know about any stay away per se, but is it because they were feeling confronted or you were abusing staff when you were over there before?
Well, first of all, you'd have to ask them.
Okay.
Secondly, you know, the representation, you know, my gosh, you know, in the Sunshine Commission, they've represented me as hostile, and they're the ones who have consistently broken the law and not been accountable. The same thing, you know, in the federal court case. So for you to try to blame the victim, Ross,
nobody's blaming
is
anybody.
so beneath you.
I'm asking a question.
The question?
Do you feel that you're being hostile?
No, of course not.
Okay.
I just am tired of people continually telling me what is right and giving me dead-end leads when they're dead wrong because they're unaccountable.
Well, you actually don't have a dead-end lead. We've already had one minor breakthrough, and that is you have access to something that you're supposed
I have access to the building, not the services, correct?
Okay, but I think that if they're feeling, and I can't speak for them, that's not Department of Public Health. We're not the Department of Public Health. So I think the question is you can go over there and see what the response is.
And videotape, you know, in case they
I
decided
can't speak
not.
to whether you want to videotape or not.
No, I do want to videotape. That way when I walk in and, you know, they try to say that I'm being disruptive, simply following up, you know, it'll be on the videotape so that when they deny, because apparently, you know, right now, it was very clear that I can walk into the building, but nobody has said, yes, you will receive the services. You know, hey, you guys can all go with me.
Mr. Garza.
I can wear a straitjacket. I'm not
people
confrontational.
talk. I think it's good.
Please.
Mr. Garza, I don't know a lot about your case, but you keep talking about receiving services. Can you be specific about what specific?
I've been seeking primary care for years now. Ever since my last doctor, Mitchell Katz, abandoned me when I decided to sue the city.
So you want to see a primary care physician?
I've constantly.
So if
because, you know, I need medical care. 12 years since my last doctor, Mitchell Katz, abandoned me.
So your goal today, if you were to walk across the street to the Tom Waddell Clinic, and you say, I want to be assigned to a primary care physician, that would take care of
And to receive services and to videotape the receipt of those services so that I can establish a baseline and tell him, you know, what all my problems, all my stressors have been over the years, the fact that I've done everything correctly in a society in which, you know, apparently the medical professionals can break the law and not be accountable. And that is just to get started. Yes, I want my primary care to get started, then accountability of all the issues that I'm bringing forward, because, you know, I don't want this to happen to somebody else.
I understand that. And let me ask a couple more specific questions. Do you want a primary care physician? Do you want to receive physical health services, or mental health services?
Everything that I'm entitled to.
Okay. Everything that's necessary for your condition, right?
Correct.
Now, you do understand that videotaping might not be agreed upon by the physicians or the professionals who work with
No,
you.
I do not understand.
Well, perhaps you can shed some light to this, but my understanding is that you cannot videotape someone unless they agree to be videotaped. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Unless they agree to be videotaped?
Yeah.
Correct. They do have a right to privacy, just like you do.
So what if I go in and put the video recorder on me and they're not being videotaped, but I'm being videotaped, establishing the record?
Any type of recording. You may ask for questions.
You may ask them that. I don't know the question. I don't know the answer about it if he just videotapes himself.
Well, no, I've been offered in the past not only to have witnesses, but, you know, I was even asked whether, you know, I would allow videotaping, and you know.
But if your goal is to get services and you want to videotape yourself, you should talk to the physician or the administrator.
And if I'm denied, you know, you've got to understand
to videotape yourself.
and you got to understand the reason I will probably be denied is because they don't want the baseline record of the constant betrayals by DPH to me in seeking services. I've got years of records of seeking services, of the risk management responses by their risk management department. You know, the fact that it just, you know,
I'm curious, would there be a betrayal if you just went and sought services and not videotape? What's the betrayal? You not getting the videotape or you not getting services?
The betrayal happens, and I'll be honest with you, it would then become he says against she says, and the records might be altered. You know, it comes down to trust. You know, I thought that after winning...
Just curious, if you went in and asked for services and your videotape was, since it's very important to you, and I hear you, if your videotape, you just decide to just, because you haven't had services and you seemed skeptical, which makes sense based on your experience, could you then just give it a try and see if you get services? I've
already given it multiple tries and not received services, and the only reason, Ross, and let me put you on videotape.
But I think you said you haven't
and let me put you on videotape. That it's gotten this far, and now I've even been offered services, is because of the videotape. So yes, sir, I definitely not only want the videotape.
Because you're videotaping, you're getting answer these questions.
No, sir, you've got to understand. I've been through the whole process many times with DPH. Not even gotten to this level, you know, where they've broken the law with HIPAA and Sunshine and been risk managed.
So back to the focus of the question is, because you don't have to videotape to have these answers. It's as simple. But the regard I'm asking you is that, so you've had medical services in the last 12 years? Because
No.
I just heard you say that you hadn't.
No, I haven't.
Okay, so then...
I've sought,
if
continue to seek.
Then I'm curious, could you try, because I'd be very curious to get the answer, to get medical services, and if you got them without videotaping, then what would you do?
I understand the question. And the answer to it is no, you know, at this point, because of what I've been through and my disability, and the fact that I've asked for programmatic access under my disability. Now, let me explain my disability to you so that you'll understand. I have what's known as an adjustment disorder. Me and Mitchell Katz used to, you know, refer to it as a well-adjusted individual in a maladjusted society, you know, or, you know, an individual who can't adjust to disorder. Now, imagine having nothing but disorder thrown at him, because I can show you, sir, a signed confession sitting next to an arrest record, never having been arrested in my life, you know, for a crime that DPH committed. You know, now being right has gotten me